You pull your credit report and see 760, a number you've worked hard to earn. But then you check a different lender's site and see 703 or even 645. Panic sets in. Did you really lose hundreds of points? The truth is more nuanced. You're witnessing the clash of the credit titans, FICO and VantageScore, two scoring models that each play by their own rules, weigh factors differently, and ultimately decide your fate when you apply for a loan, mortgage, or credit card. Today, we're diving deep into the world of credit scoring algos, why these scores differ, which one matters most, and how to navigate them to keep your financial future secure. Buckle up. Your credit score journey just got a high-stakes upgrade. Understanding FICO and VantageScore, two worlds, one credit profile. At its core, a credit score is a three-digit shorthand for your creditworthiness. Lenders use it to gauge risk. Will you pay back what you borrow, or will you default and disappear? But not all scores are created equal. The two giants, FICO, originally launched in 1989 by the fair Isaac Corporation, and VantageScore, introduced in 2006 by the three credit bureaus, built their models to sell to lenders, each with unique priorities and methodologies. The origins and market share. FICO is the grandfather of credit scores. It dominates approximately 90% of U.S. lending decisions, from auto loans to mortgages. Its long-standing relationships with banks and regulatory recognition make it the go-to score for traditional lenders. On the other hand, VantageScore emerged when Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, fed up with paying licensing fees, developed their own model. While it represents about 10% of lending decisions, its adoption has grown rapidly, especially among fintech lenders, credit-building apps, and free credit monitoring services. Score ranges and model versions. Both FICO and VantageScore use a 300 to 850 scoring range for their most common versions, but that's where the similarities end. Each has multiple versions: FICO 8, FICO 9, FICO 10 Suite, and VantageScore 3.0, 4.0, each updated to reflect new lending behaviors and data sources. As they evolve, your score can jump or drop depending on which version a lender uses. For example, FICO 10 emphasizes trending data, penalizing recent spikes in balance usage more heavily than FICO 8, whereas VantageScore 4.0 integrates trended data and dark web monitoring indicators to predict risk more proactively. The 5 pillars of FICO versus the intelligent layers of VantageScore. Let's break down their core factors and see how each model weighs them. Payment history. FICO accounts for 35% of your score. It heavily penalizes late or missed payments, public records like bankruptcies and collections. VantageScore also emphasizes payment history but uses a broader lens, how recently and how severely payments were late, and even patterns of payment consistency, amounts owed, credit utilization. FICO weighs this at 30%, focusing on your total revolving balances across credit cards relative to limits. VantageScore allocates 20% to utilization but examines individual high-balance accounts more aggressively, addressing risk at the account level. Length of credit history. FICO counts for 15%, looking at your oldest account, newest account, and the average age. VantageScore weighs length less at 13%, giving more flexibility to new credit users by scoring those with shorter histories more favorably. Credit mix. FICO 10% of the score, rewarding a healthy mix of installment and revolving credit. VantageScore only 13%, but it's smarter. If you've never had an installment loan, it doesn't penalize you as much, which helps students and younger consumers. New credit and inquiries. FICO 10%, where hard inquiries and recent new accounts can ding your score, especially multiple inquiries in a short period. VantageScore only 10%, but treats multiple inquiries for the same loan type within a 14-day window as a single inquiry, rewarding rate shopping. Why you see two different scores. Imagine two chefs making the same cake, but each following a slightly different recipe and baking at different temperatures. The result looks similar, but tastes different. That's your credit score across FICO and VantageScore. You might have a 780 FICO 8, but a 745 VantageScore 3.0. Which one is right? Both, but each serves different purposes. Traditional lenders, banks, and credit unions almost always rely on FICO, especially for large, regulated loans like mortgages or auto financing. Fintech lenders, credit card companies, and digital banks often use VantageScore, especially for personal loans, BNPL platforms, and credit builder products. The path to harmonizing your scores. You can't pick which bureau reports to FICO or VantageScore. score, but you can optimize your profile so both scores rise in tandem. Boost payment history. Pay all bills, cards, loans, utilities on time. Set auto pay and calendar reminders. Lower utilization. Keep revolving balances under 10%. If possible, pay down large balances before the statement close date. Diversify credit mix. If you only have revolving credit, consider a small installment loan or a secured credit builder loan to add variety. Limit hard inquiries. Shop loans within a 14-day window. Pre-qualify with soft pulls before committing. Build aged accounts. Avoid closing old cards. If there's an annual fee, downgrade instead of canceling to keep age intact. Advanced tactics for FICO optimization. FICO's core mission is predicting serious delinquencies within the next 12 months. Its formulas reward consistent, long-term behavior. Here's how to speak its language. Prioritize reducing revolving balances. FICO 9 now ignores paid-off medical collections and small paid charge-offs, but it still penalizes high credit utilization. Focus on keeping each card's balance under 10% of its limit. Tactic. Make multiple payments per month, one right after each big purchase and another before statement closing, to ensure a low reported balance. Extend average age of accounts. FICO values the length of credit history. Even with stellar payment records, opening new accounts too frequently drags down your average account age. Tactic. If you need a new credit product, consider requesting a credit limit increase on an existing card, a soft pull, instead of opening a new card. Advanced tactics for VantageScore mastery. Leverage trended data. VantageScore 4.0 incorporates trended credit data, how your balances change over time, not just a snapshot. Rising balances can hurt you more in this model than in FICO. Tactic. Aim for a declining balance trend. If you carry a balance, pay more than the minimum each month and reduce the balance before the statement date to show downward momentum. Capitalize on alternative data. VantageScore can include rental payments, utility bills, and even some cell phone payments when reported through services like Experian Boost or Ultra FICO. Tactic. Enroll in multiple safe reporting services. For example, use a rent reporting platform. Link your bank account to Experian Boost for utility payments and pay subscriptions on autopay. These non-traditional payments can provide an immediate lift, often 20 to 40 points. Optimize passport to high utilization. Unlike FICO, VantageScore is less punitive if one card is high but the others are low. It emphasizes overall portfolio health. Embrace rapid rescoring opportunities. Some fintech lenders and brokerages offer instant rescores through VantageScore partnerships when you pay down balances or correct errors. Manage new account velocity. VantageScore scores new credit more softly than FICO, especially for consumers with thin files. However, it still flags too many new accounts in a short span. Tactic. If you're building credit, open one new account at a time and let it age for 6 to 12 months before adding another, ensuring each added trade line contributes positively. You now hold the insider's guide to conquering both FICO and VantageScore, learning their rules, mastering their algorithms, and optimizing your profile to thrive under any scoring model. If you're ready to take command of your credit, hit like, subscribe, and download our credit scoring master worksheet at @wiseconsultant.com. Whether you're chasing a mortgage, car loan, or the best personal loan rate, we'll be your co-pilot on this journey. Because when you understand the game, you don't just play, you win. Wise Consulting Enterprise. We could help you in such.